Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up with the Early Nerd Live. I'm Steve, your host, the Early Nerd. And as always, I'm talking quietly because if we wake up Mrs. Early Nerd, we're all in trouble. Today is Friday. Yay! The weekend has arrived. Peter Pan and Wendy comes out today on Disney Plus. Um, I have expressed interest in an earlier video that I did want to watch it because I thought it looked really good. Uh, I just read a review from Variety, and I don't know, maybe, I don't know, it's kind of changed my perception of whether or not I want to see it a little bit. And I'm going to read parts of the article. We'll talk about it, and you can make a judgment for yourself whether or not you think you might want to see it. Now, I've actually turned down my brightness on the screen a little bit, so hopefully we don't get blinded when I switch over to a white screen, but we'll see what happens. All right. This is coming from Variety. With Peter Pan and Wendy, Disney sets out to bring the boy who refused to grow up into the 21st century. Not literally, like those taxing live action cartoon hybrids where computer generated Smurfs get loose in Manhattan or Tom and Jerry wreak havoc in a high end hotel. The studio's latest remake is still set in Edwardian England, the way both J.M. Barrie's play and the animated feature it inspired were. But the sensibility is very much of the moment, as director David Lowery, who did an admirable job of updating Pete's Dragon for Disney, refreshes the 1953 classic according to contemporary priorities. Pete's Dragon was okay. I liked it. In conception and casting both, the new movie presents a diverse and empowered ensemble. The vintage tune shapeful Native American stereotypes have been corrected. The beloved Tinkerbell character can now serve as a role model for a wider range of children, sharing hero duties. Wendy gets to announce this magic belongs to no boy. Even Captain Hook, once treated as irredeemable crocodile fodder, is revealed to be a misunderstood figure from Peter's past who's fallen out of touch with his happy thoughts. These are thoughtful advances to cover the ever evolving Disney formula, admirable to a point and sure to be scrutinized in the lead up to the studio's massive The Little Mermaid reboot next month. Lowry has a full plate of agendas to balance here, only one of which is taking an animated classic from the Disney canon and translating it into a live action, and the result is far more safe than it is satisfying. Where Peter Pan was a phenomenon, this straight to streaming version is but a shadow, scampering off and trying to have fun on its own. Lowry, whose script was co-written with longtime producer partner Toby Holbrook's Ain't Them Bodies Saints, doesn't seem particularly worried about recreating the earlier cartoon beyond a few obvious costuming choices. Peter, Alexander Maloney, appears in his trademark alpine hat and tattered green ensemble. John Darling, Joshua Pickering, sports a top hat and specs, while kid brother Michael, Jacoby Jupe, brings a teddy bear along for the ride. As expected, the film opens in the Darling home where Wendy Ever Anderson and her brothers play pirates with wooden swords. The older sister is an equal participant in the mischief, which Anderson embodies quite convincingly. The daughter of Mila Jovovich and director Paul W.S. Anderson, she's the closest thing to a breakout among the young cast. So assertive and compelling at times that the movie could have just as easily been called Wendy had Ben Zeitlin not gotten there first with his post Beasts of the Southern Wild spin on the legend. Lowry puts greater emphasis on Jude Law's salty, long haired Captain Hook, suggesting what could have been a Maleficent esque reframing around the villain. Except he was beaten to that idea as well by Hook, which leaves this latest take scrambling to assert what exactly it's trying to do. It's not Wendy's story, it's not Hook's story, nor is it a straight redo of the original. If anything, Peter Pan is the weak link here. Maloney plays the forever young rogue with a curiously serious focus. Sorry, guys. I'm actually still trying to wake up myself. Uh, Peter adamantly resists adulthood, but comes across like a joyless grown up most of the time. His face stern and lips pinched shut in an expression of seen it all cynicism. Somehow, humanizing Hook has the adverse effect of making Peter seem like kind of a jerk. This must be how grade school kids feel about so many of their parents' heroes. Closer inspection reveals many of them to be less perfect than previous generations were taught. But is that really what audiences want from Disney's remakes? No. What we want is what we've already seen. We want Peter Pan as Peter Pan. The you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you go back and you watch the classic Peter Pan is a jerk. He's not really all that nice of a kid, But that was okay. But that's okay, because that's who he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be, you know. But anyways, Peter Pan and Wendy treads a line between honoring the earlier film and doing its own thing, introducing a sparkling Tinkerbell, Yara Shahidi, with a 200-watt smile whose fairy speech sounds like tiny chimes to human ears. Only Wendy makes an effort to understand her. Unlike some Disney movies, this one doesn't feel especially didactic. Not sure what that word means. Somebody look it up and put a definition in the comments. Leaving a certain flexibility to parents in how they want to discuss the films with their kids. The Darlings, stuffy mom and dad, Molly Parker and Alan Tudyk, are living proof of why Peter doesn't want to grow up. Although there is a nice moment in which Mrs. Darling gives a look that says she met Peter Pan a lifetime ago. Surely most adults can relate. Lowry has the tricky task of satisfying them while trying to give younger audiences a formative viewing experience. And so we get certain paradoxes, as when the familiar plan, second star to the right and straight on till morning, takes an unexpected detour through a magic portal in Big Ben Tower. On the other side, Neverland is represented by the Faroe Islands, brilliant emerald turf shining atop sharp, dark rocks, so far removed from any continent that this could be a dream or another dimension altogether. Visually, the movie owes more to the later entries in the Harry Potter series with their dark greenish black atmosphere and gloomy visual effects than it does vintage Disney cartoons. By now, our eyes have grown weary of fake lens flares and digitally generated magic hour effects. All these years after The Lord of the Rings, the trilogy is still dictating the look of young adult fantasy movies, as when the camera swoops alongside Tiger Lily, Alyssa, I hope I pronounced this right. I apologize if I don't. Wapanatak, Wapanatak on horseback, then cuts to a dramatic wide shot as she launches Peter Pan off a cliff. I do apologize to Alyssa if I pronounce your name wrong. I'm totally sorry. I'm just trying to read here. I do actually try to pronounce people's names properly. One sequence in which pixie dust allows Peter and Wendy to rotate Hook's ship 360 degrees in midair feels as original as anything in Lowry's The Green Knight. At times like this, the footage begs to be seen on the biggest of screens rather than squeezed onto whatever devices people use to watch Disney Plus. But the narrative never rises to the same level. In Disney's haste to adapt more of its precious IP, the studio has sublimated another classic into mere content to be swept downstream and forgotten. Now, so judging by what that article says, you know, I mean, it's probably not going to be all that great. Uh, Given Disney's track record of late, I wasn't really looking forward to it a whole lot, although I was willing to give it a chance. And I still might. It comes out today on Disney Plus. Um, I might watch it tomorrow morning with my grandson. Depends on if he wants to watch it. And if it's any good, I'll come back on Sunday and I will let you know what I think of it. But if not, we'll see what happens, right? We always do. Um, Now, I'm willing to give New Tinkerbell a chance, as I said in my previous video. After all, I lived through Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell, and no offense to Julia Roberts, but she didn't fit for the role. And as far as I'm concerned, Tinkerbell never spoke. Tinkerbell never speaks because humans can't understand fairy speech, as it mentions in the article. So having Tinkerbell being able to carry on a full conversation with everyone was just kind of okay, this isn't right, but whatever. Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman made that movie. Hook was fantastic. I loved it. But here's hoping that Peter Pan and Wendy is good. So we'll see what happens. So I think it's all about all I have for today. Hope you guys like what I do. If you do, like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your family. Spread me around like butter. um, if you don't like what I'm doing, well, just keep scrolling because that's what I do if I don't like something. I don't make a fuss. I don't make a scene. I just don't watch it. Um, but remember, it is Friday. Lots of crazy drivers out there. I was going to work yesterday and watched an accident happen right in front of me. It was wild. It was crazy. Um, so be safe. Be careful out there, whether you're going to work or going to school or wherever it is you're going. Be well. We'll see y'all later. And remember, Early Nerd loves y'all. Bye bye now.